All right. You guys have to watch the behind the scenes as we're getting this together. All right, let's see. We're getting there. We're getting there, folks. We're getting there. How's everybody doing? Everybody doing all right? We're going to raise this up a little bit. That'd be good.
No, I did not. I thought that was your brother. Yes.
That'd be good. All right. All right.
Good. Hallelujah. Hey, oh, you Robert, are you junior?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
You wasn't junior.
We're live.
Middle name.
We're live.
Ah,
Say hi, Fee.
Hi, Fee. All right, folks. Thank you for being here in advance, and we're going to get started in probably 7 minutes. So this is super exciting. Post a comment.
Okay.
Are you smiling?
Why don't you come on and join me?
Yeah, okay. You sit closer or?
Wherever you want. Wherever you want. Let's have you closer. They come in and put in there.
Do you have to pause it?
Mm.
Okay.
Who's going up?
Hello, welcome. I want to give Demetrius 5 minutes. Yeah?
Feel him when he gets here.
Okay, he's texting.
Yeah, let's go. I don't know. I don't think we need it. Let's make sure we're praying. All right. We're ready, folks. We're going to get started and see who comes up.
All right, so thank you all for being here on time. Welcome to Sekou Wright's 4th annual 409 Day celebration. And while it looks like we're here to celebrate Sekou, we're actually here to celebrate you all and to celebrate the us and the we. My name is Fee Key. I'm Sekou's fiance.
Yes.
And we both
Bravo, 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 bravo.
Thank you. That's so nice. And so today is about, or this evening is really about having a conversation, connecting with community, and reminding us all that we don't have to suffer in silence. We don't have to experience a tragic occurrence alone. We can actually be in community and say, you know what? I need help. I need resources. I need to be guided. I need to be directed. I need to be loved through this process, which I commend Sekou Wright for being that person who has loved so many people through this process. I believe people might think, wow, it's been 4 years, and we're still talking about this. It's because there are people who are still having strokes. There are people who are still having life disrupt them, having life interrupt us. And so, yes, we get to continue to have these conversations and to support one another, to educate one another, and to equip one another, which is super exciting for me to have someone like our first panelist, Holly, who has become a friend.
Yes.
I love that. And had Sekou not had a stroke, we would not have become friends with Holly. Holly is a doctor of occupational therapy. She was Sekou Wright's therapist. She's been a occupational? Yes. So I said, not physical therapy, occupational therapist in the space of neurology and help me with that. Orthopedics, thank you, for over 21 years. She's also an adjunct professor. Again, she was Sekou Wright's occupational therapist. And so she comes with a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of passion and commitment. And so we'll be having a conversation with Holly. And then Demetrius Short will be here very shortly. No pun intended. You like that? We'll have a conversation with Demetrius, and then Sekou and I will do a Q&A, and we'd love to have questions from our guests. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Yes. All right. And please partake of water and snacks. Eat all that your hearts desire. So without further ado, I would like to start with a Q&A with Holly. And then, of course, the man of the hour, we'll introduce him last but not least. Because we'll need a drum roll, we'll need some horns, all the things. All righty. Are we ready for this?
Yes.
Okay. Holly, do you feel like you need a mic? No?
Yeah.
Okay. So Holly,
Up here.
again, thank you so much for your yes. Thank you for being here with us again. And when I say again, we've been in the same space with you socially. So I did like a small abbreviation of your bio. Can you share with our audience in person and online just more about you and your work?
Again, I'm a doctor of occupational therapy, so I have an undergraduate degree in exercise science. And then I went to Belmont University from 2002 to 2005, and I got a doctorate in occupational therapy. So since being here in Nashville, I've stayed in Nashville. So for 21 years, I've been serving my patients here in Nashville, kind of in different places, different types of rehab situations. But where I met Sekou and where I still work is at TriStar Southern Hills Medical Center, which is one of the HCA TriStar hospitals in the Creve Hall, Antioch area. I've worked there for about 10 years now, and I am their full-time outpatient occupational therapist. So when I met Sekou, he was already went home to stay with his mom, and he would come to me a couple times a week, and we would work on things. Occupational therapy is a little bit different from physical therapy, which I know most people know about physical therapy. Occupational therapy mainly works on the upper extremity. At least that's where my wheelhouse is. So I treat both people having a sort of a neurologic diagnosis for upper extremity, like Sekou did. It was his right arm that was affected mostly by his stroke. And then I also work with people after maybe having an orthopedic injury, breaking a wrist, having hand surgery, something like that also at my various jobs. So that's a little bit about the work that I do. Oh, other than I'm also an adjunct professor at Belmont. So the program that I graduated from 21 years ago, I now work with the first year students in that program. So that's a lot of fun to still be involved with the students and to be back involved with my alma mater.
Yes. So with that being said, when I read your bio, I shared with Sekou, I said, who knew? Like sometimes we only know people kind of on the surface. We don't go too deep until something happens. So I said, Holly is like dope, first. And you do so much. Like I felt you were dope when you were working with Sekou. I was like, she's good. Like I've never been in this space before, but
this woman cares, she sees you, she hears you, she's listening. And so I felt like you were so blessed to have her. My first question for Holly, and I sincerely mean that from my heart, my first question is, as an adjunct professor, what is the number one mindset kind of shift that you instill in students who are going to be doing this work? Because so much of it is, it's not just the textbook knowledge that you gain, but it's knowing how to, I believe, deal with people who are in pain, who are, Going through it.
yes, exactly. So
Right.
what is that? How do you do that?
Before you answer,
Yeah.
I want to say a couple things about you. So 2 quick stories. One was when we came there, my mom and I came there. We were sitting in the area, the gym area.
The bigger, larger
Yeah,
gym,
yeah.
okay, where the physical therapy
Yes,
is.
physical
Exactly, gotcha.
So we were sitting there, and this woman came up with the sheet, and she was checking things off. It's like name, address, email, just like that. And then she says, stroke. And I said, what? What? And she was like, oh, she got really flustered. She was like, I don't know. And then at that point, I looked over to my mom. Say hi to my mom right there. Here's my mom. Hey, Mom. I looked over at my mom. My mom was really busy counting the sheep. She was like, yeah. And I was like, that was the first time that anybody associated what was happening to me with a stroke. And so that was the first time, and I had to think about it very quickly about whether or not I was going to go forward or whether I was going to let that stymie me. And so I just said, yeah, okay, check off stroke, and let's just go forward. But that was the first time. So that was really like an opening moment for me because I didn't know. I had no idea that I had stroke. So that's the first story.
Was that me that did that?
No, it wasn't you.
Oh.
It wasn't you. Sorry.
I was wondering.
Sorry, it wasn't you. It wasn't you, but it was in your facilities. Yeah. And also, my story with you specifically, you told me to move my right arm. Now, let me tell you guys that when you're experiencing this, as I have, my arm was in serious pain. It was serious pain, right? And I just, cradled it. And you told me to move it, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna move it, right? Because it hurts. But you said it had to be moved in order to help it heal. And I was like, oh, man, because I was hoping that cradling it would make it heal. And that did not work. And so you put me on a strict plan. And I facilitated it because I had to get my arm better. And so I thank you.
Oh.
Seriously, I thank you.
Well,
I thank you.
I mean, we've remained friends. We talk fairly frequently. I've seen you. I've come to New York and saw you guys in New York.
Right.
And I will never forget you guys, no matter how long it is.
Oh, okay.
But even if I had never seen these two again, and we never had any of these other collaborations, I would absolutely always remember you. Because you're a special human. And it was a lot of fun. I think we had fun.
Yeah.
I always looked forward to him coming because it was always just laugh. We had a good time.
Yeah. All right, so now you can
Okay.
your
I
question.
don't know where the question was going on that.
I know.
Yeah.
So thank you, Sekou writes. So my question is, how do you prepare your students mentally? Yeah, how do you prepare your students mentally for this work?
Healthcare is hard. It's daunting. There's a lot of bureaucracy that weighs down on you. But what we all need to, whether you're a therapist, a nurse, doctors especially, anybody that comes in contact with a patient, the number one thing that should be at the top of every job description is care. You have to see that person, meet them where exactly they are at that day, and do for them what you can in that moment. no matter if it's the only time you ever see them, like I see some people in the hospital and I see them that one time and I never see them again. Or somebody that I work with for months and see 2 times a week. So I am naturally an empath. You probably can just tell by me. I'm an open book. I have a lot of personal conversations with my patients when it's appropriate about things people are going through. That serves me very well in my job. But sometimes people that are really good at science, and really get the human body and want to be in that space to help people, they have to work at that. It doesn't come super naturally. So tapping into that number one, you are there to care for that person in that moment of time that you're with them.
Beautifully said. And that is the difference between having kind of this cohesive experience where you feel like your therapist gets you, hears you, sees you, and is really here to support you so that you can get to the next step. And that's what I experienced the week and a half that I was with you in Sekou at Tri-State. Is it Tri-State?
Tri-Star.
I was gonna say Tri-State. Y'all know what I mean. Tri-State, just remember that one. Yes. Sekou, do you have a question
Yeah.
for Holly?
So I want to know, like, basically I want to know how the arm works, like, because it still hurts me to this day. It's been 1,400 days and it still hurts, and my whole right side still hurts from here down to my toes. Like, it hurts me every day, and every day. Why I started a new run streak was to get up and do something for me that would make me strong enough to deal with it the rest of the day, to deal with pain every day. So I want to know, like, how is it? Like, was it the speed? Like, if I started moving my arm sooner, or I don't know what to say, but I'm trying to understand what that meant.
From what I remember about where your stroke happened, or part of where it happened, that is an area of the brain that has this really weird hypersensitive pain thing that can happen, okay? And that is one of the hardest things that I deal with, that sensation part of things. Again, we know all the exercises to do. I can make you move that arm and get it stronger and get it more coordinated. And you beat me in Jenga. One of his last sessions, he beat me in Jenga only using his right hand. But the sensory piece is a little bit more vague and ghost-like, and it's harder to tailor intervention to get that back to more of a normal.
Okay. Have you found someone else that, like me, that has pain their whole body, the whole side? Really? Well, I'd like to speak to some of them.
I knew he was going to say
I would like to speak to some of them.
Yeah.
I would like to speak to some of them.
Yeah, I've had people that have had strokes that they had absolutely no issue with their motor function whatsoever, so their movement, but they come in and they cannot touch. It is so hypersensitive on one side of their body that they cannot stand you to touch them.
That is the first word I've ever heard anyone in the medical profession use, hypersensitive. Have you heard that?
I don't know, maybe.
I don't think so.
But I want to speak to that, though, because I just finished teaching mini college, Fisk mini college. For those of you that are interested in Fisk out there, shout out to Fisk. I was interested in teaching them financial literacy. So how we will get to how I got the financial literacy from all these things, we'll talk about in a few minutes. But I wore an arm brace, like
On your arm at night?
So I used to test drive cars. That's what I used to do. And on one of those test drives, they had these sleeves they gave us. And they were like bulletproof sleeves. They were like real sleeves. I was like, oh wow, I found this in my house. So I've been wearing it to help my arm to protect it. And the kids got so fascinated. so fascinated. They would come over and touch me, and I was like, oh, okay, all right, don't touch it. But yeah, so that
Sensitivity.
hypersensitivity is interesting because when I don't wear an armband, something that gives it away, I don't get harassed. I don't, people don't touch it. But if I do, then I get a lot more, a lot more questions.
Yeah. But that's definitely a thing that we give to people. We give them compression sleeves, things like that. It kind of sounds like that. Sounds a little bit like that. And that helps. It's like a little hug. You know how we talk about you put a vest on a dog when they're in a thunderstorm or during the fireworks, and that helps them calm down.
Right.
This is like a little compression, a little hug for your arm.
Right.
It was the same thing. Remember, you wore a little 1 pound arm weight.
What?
Remember doing that? Yes, he used to wear. We talked about it, and then you bought one. I think on Amazon or something.
Okay.
And it was like a little 1 pound arm weight that he wore just on his wrist,
Right.
and it helped him like feel where his arm was better.
Oh, yeah.
Like a better proprioception, knowing where his arm was in space when he
Right.
was using it.
Right.
Do you remember when he wore the arm weight around his arm? No.
Okay.
It was early on.
Okay.
It was early on.
But that reminds me of running, because as I'm running, I sometimes find that my arm is dropped down.
Yeah,
And I'm
and
still
you don't let
running,
it, yeah.
but I've got to remember to pull it up,
Mhm.
pull it up,
Yeah.
pull it up to be in concert with running. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing, Holly. Do we want to take a question or two from our guests, or should we introduce our
Let's
next panel?
introduce our next
Okay,
panelist.
all right, let's introduce our next panelist. So I like to say the stage because this man has so much energy. I feel like he is on stage performing. He is a dynamo. And again, if it were not for Sekou, let me not block you. If it were not for your stroke, I would not know Demetrius, Mr. Don't Fall Short, Demetrius Short. I would not know him. And I'm not going to get into that story because it's very long. Demetrius is the founder of Transformation Life Center right here, nonprofit right here in Nashville. He is a leader. He has served the health community, IT community in Nashville for 30 plus years, which means he started at 12. Very, very ambitious young man. He is a first generation Fisk graduate. He is a friend. He is also the founder of Steps of Success 5K. It's step of. Okay, I was like, because I've been in that race. Steps of Success 5K race, which will be running through downtown Nashville for the very first time. So he's a dynamo. He's brilliant. He's an amazing leader and speaker. Without further ado, can we please give it up for Mr. Demetrius Short? Thank you, Demetrius, for being here. So Demetrius, I'm going to pivot over here so that I don't block you. Demetrius, I gave just a snippet of your bio, like Holly. And so can you please share with everyone who you are, what you do, and why you do what you do?
Wow, thank you for the honor to be here. We're thankful for the opportunity to share with my brother. I'm a first generational college student from Cincinnati, Ohio. Cincinnati?
You're from Cincinnati, to Miami.
Oh,
And I
right.
grew up, I lived in Montgomery.
Right, we'll do dinner.
Okay.
Talk about the roses and grip hooks. But I was a 3.6 GPA, 3-sport All-American, football, baseball, basketball, the middle child of 6 pastor's kids, and I was a child that my parents said he's smart and he's athletic. So he's either going to go to school for football, baseball, basketball, or his brain, or both. We'll try to get these other kids into college. And I found myself at Fisk University. I didn't know about an HBCU. 90% of the Black doctors from Cincinnati graduated from Fisk, Meharry. I said, do they have a football team? That's all I wanted to do was play sports. That was my pathway what I thought was my pathway to success. Ended up at Fisk. I started wearing suits in 5th grade. He'd be like my dad, my hero, all through high school. I showed up at Fisk with alligator skin shoes, a blue suit, a briefcase, and all the students ran from me. They thought I was a teacher. I literally had to pull my license out and said, I am a freshman. They say, he's 17, he look old. You know? But that became my brand. I didn't know that God was placing me 30 years later to use that suit and that sneakers. I struggled at Fisk with the cost of education. I thought I would get that full ride sports scholarship, and I didn't. So I basically slept on the floor at Fisk. I'm a 6-year senior. My parents didn't know, the teachers didn't know. I basically went to school 2 extra years with the faculty not knowing that I showed up for class for 6 years every day. My teachers kept the grades on the side, and I would just kind of lie myself through. Mr. Short, you're not registered. I said, well, they're working on that financial aid. And 2 years went by, and I stayed at Fisk. I did not quit. I graduated, thank you, Lordy. You know what that means? I wasn't Magnum Summa. I was thank you, Lordy. Got my dream job with IBM, making $70,000, amazing job. And I came back to Fisk as I graduated, and I would walk from campus to HCA into Caterpillar. Jim Beard, the CEO of Caterpillar, took me under his wings, not knowing this broke student eating ramen noodles and crying under the Fisk Bridge and sleeping on the floor and sneaking into the dorm director's office was going through a very painful time in life, but I did not quit. Got that job, came back to Nashville in 1999, and I walked the same course now as a successful IT professional. And that's when I vowed I will run 3 miles in a suit to help college students not have to go through what I went through. I said I'll do it one time, get a little scholarship to Fisk, and go on and ball out at IBM and make me a bunch of money and help my wife live good. And here I am 27 years later. When God calls you to a passion to help, you can't run from it. And for the 27th year, I will put a suit on September 12th, and I will run in that suit downtown Nashville as the most senior African-American Black race owner in the world, and raise hopefully $150,000 to help students not have to go through what I went through, pay for school, College Leadership Academy, and help them run and be healthy with this guy right here. So that's my story, my why, and we're thankful for being the CEO of Transformation Life Center.
Thank you so much. I'm going to lead with the first question. Thank you so much for sharing, and thank you so much for not quitting. You and Sekou met in the run club that you were at the time president of, Black Men Run. So can you share with us, in your personal and professional opinion, the importance of athletics, specifically running, to someone's comeback, someone like your friend who suffered a stroke? That's the second part of the question. I think firstly, can you share with us how you and Sekou met?
Yeah, I'm the founder of Black Men Run Nashville. We were the 4th chapter when 2 African-American males were running in Piedmont Park in Atlanta, and they noticed there wasn't a lot of men of color taking ownership of their health. And they did something about it and created a group called Black Men Run. Well, the word got all the way to me here in Nashville. Do you want to start a chapter? I said, what is it? But I had already been 3 years into my Steps to Success 5K. I said, hey, I want to help amplify health and wellness. Not about being fast, not about being the strongest, but it's called preventative health for a reason. Prevent. Some things can be, we can take ownership of and help and prevent diabetes, prevent overweight. I used to have 6-pack. I'm working on, I got a 6-pack, I got about 12. I'm working on it.
But you had a health situation,
yes,
right?
We started Black Men Run. We were the 4th chapter. We're now 60 in the world. So we are the world's largest African-American run walk group. And we say walk, because most people say, I don't run. You go to the mall with your wife, you hit that thing, you'll probably walk 5 miles holding her Gucci bags and everything. So we're super sensitive over run, but walking is, check any medical report. A healthy walk is not going, it will help bring hypertension and diabetes down. So I met him at a race. I was jealous of him because he can wear some suits his hair, I can't get my hair to do that. I'm trying to figure out, but he was cool. And I said, man, we met and we started a program called Black Men Run, Brown Boys Read, which is the boys' version of Girls on the Run. Everybody's familiar with Girls on the Run. But what about the little boys? So we would read books and take the boys out on the run to help these younger men take ownership of their health and wellness. So health, whether you're a child or an adult, walking around the house, taking the stairs versus the elevators, it's not going to hurt you. It's only going to help you because it's all about taking those steps. And I always say it ain't no do-overs. Caskets don't talk back. They're one-way conversations, and I'm trying to do as much as I can to make sure that I live as much as I can with taking ownership of my life. So that's why health is important and why we created Black Men Run and met this guy right here with our Brown Boys Read component.
Thank you so
So,
much.
I'm gonna jump in there.
All right, jump in there.
I'm jump in. Because there's a little bit more to how we met, a little bit more to it. So, I was going through some things. If you read my book, Hack Your Pain, you'll see that I was going through some things. And towards the end of that, I was running. I was running on my own. Right? I was running, and I felt like I was doing something. And as you're doing things, social media feeds you. Right? So they kept on saying, Black Men Run. I said, what is that? Black Men Run. What is that? What is that? And so one day I decided I would just stop by. One Saturday, I would stop by. And I stopped by the YMCA, yeah, YMCA. And I didn't think I had the right group. I think because they were dressed funny, I'm not sure I had the right group. But I had on, yeah, they were because it was cold. It was a cold day that day. And they had on shorts and t-shirts. And I was like, you're gonna freeze. Right? And I had on lots of stuff. I had on.
He was dressed funny. Right?
Yeah, exactly. So we started running, and we were running all together, together. And then we turned right onto that Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
And these boys were gone. They just gone. And I was like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. They were fast. And I still remember this. I still remember Regions Bank at the corner of 31st and Broadway. Like I sat on the steps of that bank. I was way far behind everyone. There was Sean. Sean used to come out. He would peek out, see how I was doing. And I'd be like, and then I hide behind a car, trying to catch my breath. Then I run to the next car, trying to catch my breath. And so once we got to the regions, I said, I can't. So I was sitting there on those steps, thinking about a way to make myself feel more positively about what I experienced. So, well, at least you showed up. At least you ran. At least you did something. I started finding little pieces. And I said, all right, that's good enough. Let's go back the way we came and leave, right? So I went back the way I came. I didn't finish the route. I came back where I came. But those guys were so fast, they were already at the finish line. They were like, I was like, oh, man. But I was going to get in the car and leave. I was going to slide out. But they talked to me. I was like, all right, yeah, nice to meet you. That's all. But Demetrius wasn't there. But he called me. He called me.
Because he heard about it.
He called me and started talking to me. Wow. Started talking to me positive messages. Positive. Do keep on doing it. And I was like, really? Because I was so far behind everyone. He said, those are my
Those are my speed, my Titans.
Yeah, my Titans. I was like, Titans, what? So I came out again. And I came out again. And I came out again. I came out again. And that's how I became a part of Black Men Run. And I can't thank you enough, man. I can't thank you enough. Because I'm going to get into this now. Because I've been trying to say this for a minute, and I keep messing it up. I want to get this out the way now. So when my doctors in New York started looking at me, they said it was my running that kept me alive. It was my running that kept me alive. That if I hadn't been running when I had the stroke, I would have fallen and not got back up. So you specifically calling me and telling me to get back on that floor, to get back out there was my saving grace, man. If it wasn't for you, I owe you my life. I owe you my life. I owe you
I
my life.
remember that.
Yeah.
I remember.
So thank you. I thank you, bro. I thank you, bro. I was trying to say that for a while. I say that in different places, but that's what I want to say. I really appreciate you.
Our motto is no man left behind. He just happened to pick a day that the Titans, the Predators and the Memphis Grizzlies, we have the speedsters, the middle, and the walkers. He just showed up on a day that the Titans were all there. And,
They were
and they were going, and when I heard, I wanted to let him know that be you. I'm a good me, you're a good you. If you be a good you, how would the world look like if all of us played the part that we played? So when I called him, I knew that if he stops, then I stop. And they would say, go on. I said, nope. They get mad at me. No, I don't want to. I said, I'm the captain of Black Men Run. If you stop and sit and get a coffee, I'm stopping to get a coffee because it's not about us competing. It's about us making each other better. So I forgot that I did call him. And he remembered that, and I pressed him. Don't let that discourage you. We are a healthy brotherhood. No man left behind.
Yeah.
And thank you for reminding me about that. But that's the culture. It's not about speed. It's about making the guy better. If you're a 19-minute, be 19. If I'm 13, be 13. Just cross the finish line in life and we all win.
Right. So it's all because of you that I kept running and therefore I survived my stroke.
No, thank you, man.
All right, I'm just going to keep us honest and on time. And so I have a question. Can we take a few minutes to field some questions from our guests?
Sure.
Yeah, okay. Does anyone, well, let me ask you a question. Because one of the things that I learned when Sekou had his stroke, I believed that he was the first and only person that I had ever met. And not until this year did I remember that I had met someone else. But we never talked about it. It was one of those things we never talked about it. I knew her family hired me as her personal trainer, and that was it. And so one of the questions that I get asked a lot is, well, why did he have a stroke? So I want to talk about those underlying issues.
Yeah, let me speak to that first before you go anywhere.
Okay, yes, sir.
Because for me, I was doing everything. I was running, I was eating, I was vegan, I was doing everything. And so when I went to Jay, Jay's a friend of mine, he's a dentist. Went to Jay, check on something in my mouth, and his assistant flagged me for high blood pressure. And I was like, nah, you must be tripping. And so he came in, he said, yeah, you're in danger. But he said it in a light way, like casual way. And I was like, no, it can't be me. It can't be me because I've got too many things in place. And I got a prescription. I filled it, but I ate it, but that was it. And so I want to be clear that if your doctor tells you that you need to take the blood pressure medicine, that you need to do it. You need to do it. And don't be like me. Don't be like me. Do not be like me. You have to take it seriously. And just to say it again, if I hadn't been running, I would have fallen for sure. I would have fallen forever. And so, yeah, I think it's important for you to know to do what the doctor says.
Do we have any questions?
I have a question.
Yes. Yes.
My question relates to the male species. I understand that most men who have strokes recover better than women. Now, that's what I was told. Can somebody give me some insight on that?
That's a great question.
In my experience, because I probably, at my job at Southern Hills, probably 80% of my patients have had a stroke. I would say the opposite. I would say that females actually recover better than males when they actually come to therapy and have gotten treatment. I usually find that to be the case.
one more thing. How soon do you see them, or does the doctor see them once they have a stroke, male or female?
Well, that all depends on how quickly that person or their family recognize that there are stroke-like symptoms happening. There's an acronym, which would have been a great thing to have here. It's got some pamphlets of BFAST, BEFAST, and it's an acronym to tell you the initial symptoms that you could have that tell you if you're having a stroke. The B is for balance. If you're feeling off balance, that could be a sign of a stroke. The E is your eyes. If one of your eyes is drooping and the other one is not, okay? The F is your face. If a side of your face is drooping down, the edge of your mouth, a lot of people look at. The A is the arm. So a lot of times if a loved one is feeling funny and you have them lift up their arm and one of their arms does not want to go up with the other, okay? S is, I'm trying to remember now. I have to think about that. And T is definitely time. If you are having any of these a slur in your speech, okay? Your speech is not coming out, or it feels like you're talking kind of, funny like that, out of one side of your mouth. The time is the biggest thing because I believe it's 80% of strokes are from a sort of a clot. So something that's plugging up the blood pathways, that's not letting oxygen go to your brain. And there is a very special medicine that can be given within a very short amount of window of time at an emergency room that can bust. It's called a clot busting medicine. And if you can get there within that window of time and get this medicine, you have so much of a better possibility of recovery.
Do you
Time.
Do you know what that medicine is?
The name that I know it as is TPA.
Okay.
I think there's a couple different ones now, but TPA is the one that is usually listed in charts, but it's got a very long name that I can't say.
So then if someone takes their loved one to the hospital and the loved one, recognizes, I think this is a stroke, they need to communicate that to.
And make note of the time.
Okay.
Say, what time did you first, because they're going to ask you that, what time did you first see symptoms? Because then they're going to back it up and say, are we in that window of time to get that medicine?
Okay, that's good to know. That's a wonderful question. Thank you for asking. Yes, Paul.
So this window of time, generally do you know what that general window is?
It's,
An
I
hour,
think it's
2
like
hours?
4 to 6 hours.
Oh, okay.
Something like that. It's less than a day.
Okay.
Now, there might be some different medicines that have a larger window, but that's the one that I know of. But again, I'm not a medical doctor. We need to look that up for sure. But
Yeah, I just wanted to question too.
Oh, okay. So it is definitely less than a day.
Okay.
So don't ever think, oh, you're noticing something going, sleep on it and see what will happen in the morning. Now you're out of the window.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's very important.
Let me just ask, hold on. If I went back to the place that immediately saw me, would they be able to tell me if that was a drug that was administered?
Yeah, it should be in your medical record, in your ER.
Because for those of you that don't know, I live in New York. I've been living in New York this whole time. So I was visiting Nashville at the time. So this is a hospital that's new to me, but I would like to find out.
I believe that you were at Centennial Medical Center, was the ER that you went to.
Sorry, I had to get out.
There are reasons why they wouldn't administer if you have had a stroke and they hold back on administering that. And is that a drug now that's longer? Because I think we were told it was 1 hour.
Yeah, I think that there are more drugs like
Now,
these
that's
major clot busting
extended.
thing. I think that there are some other options that are a little bit longer. Again, it'd be great to have an ER physician as a panel at some point.
Because we were there and she had a stroke and they did not give her that.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, was that because she of her age?
There could be some other factors. If they initially do a CT scan and they see that it is a bleeding stroke, is a hemorrhagic stroke, not a clot-based stroke. So the opposite, they will not give that because of what it is like a huge dose of blood thinner. Yeah. That you can have that
So
one
there's
time.
some risks.
There are some
So
risks
they
for sure.
do need to know.
They do
that.
need to know, yeah. And they would probably ask, are you already on a blood thinner? Or do you have this or this or this condition? There would be some caveats in there to say if it's an appropriate medicine to give to somebody. Mhm. But to y'all's comment too, I don't know if everybody knows this, I know you guys know it from what you said before, but Black and brown people in this country are over and above diagnosed with diabetes and hypertension. Over and above. And the number one risk to have a stroke is undiagnosed hypertension. Absolutely, number one. So go to your doctor's appointments. Go to CVS and put your arm in that cuff and get your blood pressure run.
What is that?
And if it's not looking good, you've got to get it taken care of. You've got to. Because, I mean, I see patients all the time and they come even out of, like you, coming to me after coming out of inpatient rehab. I took your blood pressure. If it wasn't good, you need to go back to your doctor and get that regulated. Because none of this therapy works if that's not in check.
Wow.
If that's not taken care of, we're at risk for having another stroke. You're at more risk for having a stroke if you've had the first stroke. So this is something that has to be taken care of and it has to be talked about. We have to talk
Which is
about
why
this with
we're
our
here.
friends and family.
One of our Black Men Run members, Mr. Aaron Perry, he's the founder of the Barbershop Initiative, where he put a medical procedure in the barbershop. Now, men know, we got your wife here, just nudge her. We talk about stuff at the barbershop, right? That's our man cave, so y'all go to the salon. But he was the first diabetic to do an Ironman. And made it to Regis and Kelly Lee's, a type 2 diabetic to complete an Ironman. That's a 3-mile swim, 150-mile bike, and a 26-mile marathon all in one thing. And he did it as the first in America, and an African-American male. But he was inspired to start the Barbershop Initiative saying, Black men are not, and men in general don't want to go to the hospital. Oh, it's all right, honey, I'll be okay. So he said, men go get their hair cut, their beard shaved. We're going to talk about the Tyson fight. We're going to talk about San Antonio and LeBron. Where? At the barbershop. If they don't go to the doctor, let's put a clinic in the barbershop. And he did that 13 years ago and saved many men's lives by putting a private physician in there, and then they incentivize the barbers. The barbers are like our pastors, right? We lean on them a lot about not feeling good and divorce or whatever it may. So they gave the barbers, hundreds of dollars if they got those men to go to the doctor, because we will say, the barber say, you keep telling me about this pain. No, I'm all right, Vic, I'm good. We said, the barber, you are some men's last hope. They're not going to tell their wife. And they're telling you every week, I'm not feeling good. They don't tell it, man, I'm a man up, And then you die. And the barber say, he's been telling me this every week. So he has blown up and is getting barbershops. It's called the Barbershop Initiative. And I think he has 10 to 12 barbers who have full-blown medical clinics in the barbershop. And you can kind of, it's discreet, you can go in, nobody's going to tell anything, but it's right there conveniently in the barbershop. And I'm like, what an amazing, if you don't go to the doctor, we're going to bring the doctor to you. And he has saved hundreds of men's lives just by being us checking our egos, as men, and going to the doctor. So,
Thank you for sharing that. I think we have time for one more.
I have
Yes, ma'am.
another question, backing up with this medication. Let's say a male or a female has a stroke at home. The family members are there. They recognize that. They call the ambulance to come. Do the paramedics have access to that medication window?
I believe that they at least have to be on the phone with an ER doc.
And can they not do that with it?
I'm not sure, but I know that there are some medications that they can do for different things. I'm not sure if that's in the state of Tennessee. Probably every state has a little bit different law with that. That's a possibility, but I'm not 100% sure. It's always good, especially as we get older, along with our phone, things like that. Keep a list of your medications on you, so that if something like that happens, your daughter, your son, your niece or nephew that's helping take care of you, whatever, knows that that's tucked away in your phone or in your wallet to be able to give them, hey, they do take this medication.
What is the youngest age for a child, male or female, to have a stroke?
My next door neighbor had one the day she was born.
Wow.
Yeah, reason I ask is because where I taught before I retired, after a few years, one of my students had a stroke, a male, and he's still going.
She's still going. She just graduated from college. She limps a little bit still and doesn't have use of one of her arms. But hers was from a heart condition, undiagnosed at birth. Probably the youngest that I've seen in my clinic, you were my youngest for a little while.
Real quick. All right.
But I saw a 32-year-old woman that was sent home with hypertension after having her third child and had a massive stroke. And I bet you guys can guess what color she was.
Thank you, thank you.
So it is an absolute real thing.
And that is why we need to have these conversations daily. And when people ask me, because I've been asked this in different ways, kind of like, y'all still talking about that? And I'm like, people are still, first of all, I think when people look at Sekou, I mean, he's gorgeous, yes.
Yeah.
He's super fine. And he presents well.
They call it invisible. Like, all my symptoms are invisible. Yeah. That's what they
Yeah.
call it, right?
And so yes, we're going to continue to talk about it. Yes, we're going to continue to shine a light on the disparities in the Black and brown communities as it relates to strokes, because no two strokes are alike, and strokes are not for old people. We need to also continue to dispel that myth that it's not an old person situation, and even if it is, like as an older, aging person, you still deserve care, support, and to be treated with dignity and to be loved through the process. And so we're going to keep having these conversations. And do you have anything? 'Cause I'm also the timekeeper. I'm the fiance, I'm the timekeeper, I'm moderating up here. I'm just saying.
Well, I want to present both of you with something. Just a little something I got for y'all. And this is not compared to yours because yours is dope. But this I got for you. Here we go. The greatest of all time. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for putting it on.
I love it so much.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Can we stand really quickly and get a photo
Yes.
of these three?
Thank you all for having us.
Hey. I'll jump in after you. Right here. Nice smile. Yeah. That's great, guys. Thank you. Okay, yeah.
Before we excuse our amazing panelists, I've been thinking about introducing the man of the hour, and I would love to have Demetrius do that for me and put you on the spot. Do you feel willing and able and capable to do that? To introduce your friend? Yes, alrighty. Demetrius is gonna do that, and then Sekou and I'm gonna interview Sekou, do a Q&A, and then we'll do a little breakout where you can ask questions, and then we're gonna we have a gift for a special someone. If you get something right, you get something big.
Making sure.
All right, so I'm gonna take a seat and have Demetrius come up and introduce the man of the hour.
I heard you all were gonna do something like a run or something like that. I think I was supposed to say that, and kind of introduce this thing about a run.
You can do that.
Okay, all right. But this guy right here is amazing survivor. Again, my middle thing is Mr. Don't Fall Short, just to help people not fall short in life and whatever you're doing. I think he is a testament of that. And for us to, 4 months after having the stroke, me jump in a car after a board meeting and meet him in New York to run the New York Marathon,
Yes.
like, that's insane. That's crazy. 4 months after a stroke,
Yeah.
26 miles is tough training, but that's
I didn't train.
and he didn't.
I
And
trained.
that's what still marvels me. I've trained. I've run 10 full marathons, over 100 half marathons, and thousands of 5Ks. And for him to do that, he's a hero. He's inspired the world. He's inspiring us all. And tonight, I would love to introduce to you all the man of the hour, the hero himself, Mr. Sekou Rice. Everyone.
Do you wanna sit?
Yeah, let's see.
Let's sit.
Yeah, let's see.
Do you wanna sit there?
I'm trying to get close to the. I'll sit back here. Right. Okay.
Do you wanna sit there or here?
Sorry, folks.
You're fine. Sekou Rice.
So I just want to point out a couple things, just a couple things. So for those of you that don't know, I had a stroke. In case it hasn't been abundantly clear, I had a stroke, right? So I had a stroke on this day, July 14th, 2022, 4 years ago. And at the time, I was giving a speech to the people who had assembled for Fisk Mini College. So that same thing that I was doing then is the same thing I just finished doing now. It's taken me 4 years to get myself able to do it again. And I was really worried about it, but I survived it. And the reason that I spoke to them about financial literacy was because I'd never heard of teaching financial literacy to kids before. And it sparked within me because what happened when I came out of my amnesia, I noticed that the bills were huge. I mean, just astronomical. And I didn't have benefits. I did not have health benefits. So I remember they picked me up from Fisk and took me to Centennial. That was less than a mile drive. And it cost me $1,000, billed to me specifically, $1,000. That just blew my budget. And that was only the shortest of all the ambulance trips I've taken. So I had to think about money in a new way. So I've been thinking about money in a new way. You see, I got the shirt on, day trader. I've been thinking about money in a new way, and I wanted to teach the kids that. And I have to say, the kids were very receptive. And I gave some scholarships away. So hopefully they'll be the next millionaires. Hopefully the next billionaires, right? So anyway, I just wanted to put that out there.
All right. Thank you for sharing. I only have 2 questions because I am the time master. I'm doing the time. My question is, you've been sharing your journey as a stroke recovery man for 4 years. You've been running every day. I think it's 1,290 days, consecutive days. He's been running almost 4 years every day.
Yeah, 1,289 days, I think. 89 days, yeah.
Yeah. You've been drinking your water. You've been taking your blood pressure medicine.
Yes.
Right.
This time I took it, yeah.
So you feel like you've been doing, and you've been eating well, most of the time.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yes, yes, yes.
My question is, when you're alone in the midnight hour, what are you thinking about as it pertains to your next chapter?
Mm.
As a man who's survived a stroke, as a man who's pivoted financially and in your career, what are you thinking in those moments where you can't sleep? Because I've been with you when you're up 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, that you're not sharing with the community that you might want to share with them tonight.
How can I stop the pain? How can I stop the pain? I think about it all the time. Because unless I'm sleeping, I feel the pain all the time. All the time. And you'd be surprised how many times you'll think something's going on with us when there's something's going on with me. I'm trying to heal my body. I'm trying to do something with it. Like it is frustrating to me. And in my amnesia helped and hurt in a different way because people don't write amnesia right. They tell it in a
When you
different
say
way.
they don't write it right, like in movies?
Yeah, movies, TV, they don't write it right because what really happens is everything is erased up until now. So I didn't know that I was in a hospital room. I didn't know what that was. I didn't know anything but where the restroom was. Like that's it. Like it's hard to explain, but it's like everything is flushed out of your system. And so I didn't know that my arm hurt. Right? I knew it. I felt something, but I didn't know that it hurt per se until later. And as my memory started to come back, I was like, yeah, this burns. This hurts. And so my amnesia helped for a long time, and then it kind of hurt in the end. You know what I mean? So what I think about when I'm up at night is how to get the pain to stop. And so I was happy to hear Holly say that there are other people that have my thing because I haven't found it. Well, just the closest I found was a man came by the house recently and he had this in his face, the right side of his face, hypersensitivity, the right side of his face, and he was chipper about it. But I wanted to find what's beyond chipper in order to heal it.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what I'm thinking about constantly, thinking about how to heal the pain.
All right. So I have another question. Thank you for sharing that because you talk about the pain, but I think for someone who might be listening virtually or someone who's here with us in person, they might be experiencing that or have a loved one. And so that's why I think it's important for us to know that we don't have to heal in private. You know, the more you share, the more you could potentially connect with the right person in the medical community who is an expert, if such a thing exists. And I believe all things are possible. So it's important for you to keep sharing. I believe that we believe that the how is not our responsibility, right? That's God's role. God's going to take care of the how. We continue to believe and show up and stay in action. With that being said, and you don't have to answer this today, but this is something to think about for all of us. Are you willing to accept the pain and be okay with the pain?
Yeah. So my day is a mixture of all three parts. I accept it.
Until we manifest, attract
Yes.
that expert.
Yeah.
Are you willing to be at peace?
Yeah, so I balance them all. So like I said, I run first thing in the morning. I try to run first thing in the morning. And that alone, running through the pain, is enough to get me through the day usually, right? And so that's what I kind of bank on. Like if I can get through a mile, then the rest of the day I could think, come on, Sekou, you jogged a mile already. You jogged a mile through this already. You can do this, you know. And I just keep coming back just that far. Just my memory can come back to the morning, and that's what keeps me, you know, headed on the right direction. Heading on the right direction.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Is that advice that you would give someone who might be struggling
Yes.
with anything that's disrupting life? It doesn't have to be a stroke. It could be, you know, losing a job, career pivot, marriage,
Yeah.
divorce, whatever that thing that is feeling heavy for you.
Yeah. My first.
Using running or exercise, some sort of movement
Yeah.
is my question.
My first book. Well, no, not my first book. My most recent, well, kind of recent book is Hack Your Pain Now. I talked about that. I talked about using the body. I talked about smiling. I talked about all the things you would do to help yourself overcome something. And that's interesting because that book helped me come through having a stroke because it was loosely. I found it in my mom's house. I was just looking for something to do. I found this sheet of paper and I started trying to read it because I couldn't read. By the way, I could not read, could not count, could not do anything really. So I was trying to read it, and as I read it, it gave me advice for what I could do now. And I didn't realize that I had written it. I didn't realize I had written it.
And you
But
wrote it before.
I wrote it before. It was just loosely something. And I was like, this is good. This is good. So I need to put this out. So I put it out immediately. And the people got really upset about what I wrote in it. You have to read it to understand it. But I just put it out, the whole thing, everything. And then people were talking about how open I was being. And I was just trying to share with them what I had shared with myself. And thank you. Thank you. And so I just wanted to I don't know, I forgot my train of thought.
You were there.
Yeah.
So you just wanted to bring that up because I asked you the question, what advice
Yes.
would you give
Oh,
to
yes,
someone else
yes,
who's struggling with
yes.
life?
Yeah.
That
So
same advice.
I just want to give one example from the book, Hack Your Pain Now. It's one of the ones that stands out to me the most and stands out to people the most. It says smile. So there's 10 commandments of what to do in these times of hurt. One of the commandments is smile. And smiling, it's like you have to smile in spite of how you feel. In spite of how you feel. In spite of it. Like you can feel down and dumps and angry and you smile and all of a sudden that starts firing synapses and neuroses and all those things start zipping and zapping. And you will change your perspective. Just like that, just by smiling. And you don't know how many times I've used that. You don't know how many times I've used that. Small story, quickly. So, is I went back to New York. I was meeting with new doctors and everyone's, helping me. But I didn't know how to speak well. So you hear every once in a while I get a little twisted up on my language. But then it was really bad. It was really bad. And I would just smile at them. I'd walk in, I'd smile at them. And I'd smile, and they would ask what I was there for, and I wouldn't know. I would just smile. I would just smile. And they got to be my fans. They got to be my fans, like still people in the neighborhood. They're like, hey, man. I'm like, hey. They have something for me just because I smiled at them. And so I really appreciate that. You should too. Please get the book for you. Not for me, for you. Get the book. Yeah. Hack Your Pain.
Hack Your Pain Now.
Hack Your Pain Now.
Yes, not later. So it is 7:11. I'd like to open it up for a couple questions. If anyone has any questions, don't be shy. If you don't, we'll keep moving on. 5.
Yeah, I've got one that came up when we were talking about recovery, and I believe Dr. Kelly, did I get it right?
Pastor Kimberly?
No, the therapist.
Oh, Holly.
Holly, Dr.
So you got the L and the
Dr.
Y.
Holly, I got two L's right. And a Y. But I think it was Dr. Holly who had mentioned it to Sekou when he was beginning his therapy. You have to move to heal. I wonder if you could talk a little bit about that from the perspective of what it requires in that moment to move, to get to healing, from your physical ability, trying to overcome those hurdles, the spiritual depth of it, overcoming that hurdle, just the emotional pain of it all, overcoming that hurdle. How do you get to move so that you can get to healing?
He went deep. He went deep. So let me introduce him. This is Rush.
No, just answer my question.
No, this is
You know
Rush.
he's gonna do it.
This is Rush. He's my college roommate, my roommate at Morehouse College. And he was one of the first people that showed up at the hospital. And I didn't know who he was. I didn't know who he was. My college roommate, I didn't know who he was. And I was annoyed with him personally. I was annoyed. I was like, would this guy just leave? Just leave? I was thinking that, but I'm so glad he was there. I'm so glad he was there. So what he's talking about, some things that he's privy to. And yeah, how I got there was just drive. It was just drive. But I'll tell you a story. At the hospital where Holly works, was it?
Southern Hills.
Southern Hills. We had to drive a long way out there. And once we got there, we had to check me in, whatever. And then there was, before I moved from one division of the course, of the school to another, there was a part where I was staying in there. And I was staying in there, and this nurse came, and she took me around the room, around the circumference of the room. The circumference of the
therapy?
Yes, the therapy facility. And she was wheeling me around, and I was just, chilling, just wondering what's going to happen to me. She came around this room, and this room was open, and there was this white man in there. He looked up at me, and it must have been seconds. It had to be seconds, but it felt like an eternity that we were staring at each other. And it took me a long time to figure out why he was staring at me. What was in him? All night I thought about it. All night. I don't know why it haunted me so much, but the next morning I realized that he was holding out hope. He was holding out hope for someone to come in and tell him what to do. Someone to come in and give him some guidance. Someone to come in and give him something to do, like to drive him. And I was like, all right, I can't do that. I've got to move now. And so, forgive me, Holly, I hid my wheelchair then. I hid it. I stuck the wheelchair, stuck it in the bathroom, I hid the cane, and therefore the next person that came to me, then she was like, where's the wheelchair? I was like, I couldn't talk. Where's your cane? I was like, And so she made me walk. And it was the hardest thing I've ever done. Was walking around the circumference of that facility without anything. It was hard. It was very hard. But sorry. So yeah, that's what helped me. I just had to go for it. That dude looking at me like that made me realize that he was looking for hope and I couldn't find it. I had to go and create my own hope. So,
Oh, yeah, that-
thank you.
Thank you, Rush.
Yeah, thanks, Rush.
Any other questions?
I have a question. I love questions. Was your OT your first service or was your PT your first service?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. Holly might know better, but I know when I got to Nashville to take him to his therapy appointments, it was physical therapy, all in the same location. So he met with a male physical therapist, like a trainer, but not a trainer. Let me be clear, was a physical therapist, and then he met with Holly, and then he met with a speech therapist last, and that was 2 times a week.
In the hospital, whether it's like you're in the hospital when you're first diagnosed, and then he was then transferred to an inpatient rehab center, which is in the hospital also, but focused on therapy, and he got all 3 therapies. Like an hour each day with each.
Would that therapy be, 1, 2, 3 in one day?
Yes, but at different times, like you might have an hour at 8:30 to 9:30 with the OT, and then you would have from 11 to 12 with the PT, and then 1 to 2 o'clock with the speech therapist. And then once he was discharged and was able to go home with his mom, then he came to us at the outpatient clinic, and he saw us each for 45 minutes back to back.
Do you ever have stroke victims to have the therapy at home?
Yes, there's also home health services for people that are not easily moved and to be able to go to an outpatient. So, yeah, that's very common also.
I have a question.
Yes.
Mr. Crew, at what point did you begin to get the context of your life back? At what point were you going, I'm so good?
Or are you still?
I'm still. Because people, I talked about it before about invisibility. People look at me and they see the same guy, but I'm not the same guy. I'm not. And everything about me is different. And so people ask me, have you done this new book or something else that I'm known for?
Or bracelets.
Yeah, bracelets. I used to make bracelets, you guys, on a high level. I used to make bracelets for celebrities. And people ask me about that. I'm like, no, I'm just focusing on getting well, getting better. Like, I've got to focus my energy there. So I'm still looking in the mirror. But, thanks to people like me and folks like her that have said, your new Sekou is good enough for me. I appreciate that. I certainly appreciate that.
I would like to jump in and ask, for me, my last question, which is really for people out in the world, in this room and in the world, which is, because I've witnessed you do this, and I've witnessed it in our relationship, which is, what do you say to someone who has experienced a life-transforming tragedy, and they are not clear about how to pick up the financial pieces, how to get themselves from where they are financially, which could feel like you're at the very bottom, and you can't even see the forest through the trees. I believe, but you're an expert at that now. How do you speak to that person?
So how many of you own stocks? Okay, this is a good group.
Yeah.
This is a
This
good
is our
group.
tribe.
This is a good group. So I didn't own stocks when this began, when I was coming out of therapy. And okay. Well,
So the aphasia,
yeah.
his short-term and long-term is impacted. And so you own stocks, but you weren't in the stock game.
Yes, okay.
That's the
Thank you.
Okay.
So I learned how to deal with stocks. So the first thing everyone has to do is set aside, well, you need to pay yourself first. That's the main thing. You need to pay yourself first. And I know you've heard it before, but you really have to do it. If you're doing it already, that's great, but if you're not, you need to do it. Pay yourself first. Set aside some money, put it aside.
How does someone who looks at their income, whether it's a check or they're an entrepreneur, they're driving Uber, they're doing Lyft, they're hustling, they're mowing grass, how do you say to someone who is like, look, man, everything is going to bills. I'm
Yeah.
paying
Yeah.
the things, the house. How am I gonna pay myself first when there's nothing?
Exactly. That's what happened to me. Like I had a job, I was making $200,000 a year, and I lost that job. It wasn't me doing anything money. Then I was door dashing, just delivering sandwiches to make money, right? And so the difference in money was extreme. And I couldn't think of how I was gonna get 10% out of that little bit of money. But I tell you, I had $100. I said, all right, I'm gonna put $10 over here. I paid myself first. And I used the 90, but I never came over for the extra 10
Like you didn't
$10. I didn't miss it. I said, I tried it again and again and again. And that's what happened. That's what worked for me. You need to pay yourself first, set it aside.
Is there a system? How does one get their mind wrapped around that concept? Because it's one thing to say, you gotta do it. You know you need to do it. Pay yourself first. How do I, in what way, what was your system that you used where you said, okay, I only have this little bit because I've not worked in 4 years. So pay myself first from what, man?
Yeah, so
How does one get their mindset or wrapped around the idea of paying themselves first when they feel like they have nothing?
my assignment was I started doing, what I call silly things now. I would do something with Starbucks. Like I would buy Starbucks and I would up it by $1. So if it cost me $5, I would charge myself $6. And I take that $1 extra and put it aside into Charles Schwab. Just that $1. $1.
And how's
$1.
that grown for you today, 4 years later?
It's grown quite well. It's grown quite well. And you got to just put it aside. You guys all raise your hands for the stocks, so I applaud you. But you just remember to keep putting money aside. Keep feeding it, because that's what makes a difference. And what makes a difference in terms of you too. Like you said that somebody was talking to you about making coffee and how much money she was
Yes.
Yeah, tell that story.
I love coffee shops.
Yes.
I'm a coffee connoisseur.
Yes.
Every city, country I visit, there's no Starbucks, there's no Dunkin'. There is a $10 latte with my name on it.
Indeed.
And I get to know the people because I'm invested. We're gonna be friends. And I had a conversation in my work environment, and this woman was sharing with me that she takes 4 vacations a year with her children and husband. And I just looked at her, and she said, I know. People ask me all the time, like, she said, I make my own coffee. I was like, this is a trick. I said, oh. I said, yeah, I like the experience. I love to go out and do the whole thing. She said, how much do you spend on your coffee? Do you get a coffee? I said, no, girl, I get a latte, 4 shots. She was like, oh. I said, but they hook me up. Sometimes I get a discount. I'm spending like $9.44 a day. That woman took her phone out and she did that math. She said, oh, you're spending about $5,000 a year on coffee. I was embarrassed. Like I knew, but I didn't want to know. It's like you know these things, and when you know better, you either get to do better or you're just going to keep drowning. And within 3 weeks, I bought an espresso machine. And what I spent on that espresso machine was less than what I spent on a latte a week. And so now what I do is the money that I would have spent on a latte, I don't take all of it and put it towards my Charles Schwab account, but I take about 25%. And then every time I make a coffee at home, which is 1 a day, I pay myself $1. And so it's growing. And I didn't learn these things until Sekou. I mean, so for us who are over 50, sometimes we feel like, oh my God, it's too late. I'm too old. I don't have enough time. And that's a mindset shift that you get to remind yourself that that's not the truth. That's just the story that you've been telling yourself. And you're invested in that story. And that story is going to keep you broke. But if you start to tell yourself a different story and you start to believe that story, you'll actually have evidence that, yes, I can actually grow financially. I can build from where I am by making some different behavioral changes. And I've seen Sekou do it. When I say he has not worked in 4 years, coming here, facilitating this mini camp college at Fisk is the first time he's worked in 4 years. And it's really, it's a testament to God and God's promise to us, to all of us, that we are living well. You know, people ask me, and I'm like, I wish I would have written everything down because I don't know how we're doing it, but then I'm like, yes, I do. We're not doing it, God's doing it. But we're listening, we're obedient. We are making the sacrifices. We're being faithful, because I'm telling you, when I moved to New York City, I was like, wait a minute, how are we gonna do this? And I was like, wait a minute, the how is not your responsibility. When you say you have faith, when you say you believe, you have to be actionable. You have to actually have faith and believe. And I've seen this man have faith and believe and build from where he is. And we build from where we are.
Amen. Say amen now.
Amen.
Yes, I have a question. Jacob, what is your advice to anyone who has experienced a family member having a stroke? Like, what's your advice to them as far as being a support system, I guess you could say?
My mom did something amazing. I didn't recognize at the time. My mom did not let anyone refer me in the word stroke symbiotic. Like, she did not. So that's why I told you the story of me being at this facility and a woman said stroke. And I was like, what are you talking about? So that's early on. I know it's super early, but what you got to do is not control anything about what they're
Someone's diagnosed.
yes, you need to not convince to okay, to mess with their diagnosis. Because when you don't, because I didn't realize that I've had my own things that I think about having a stroke. And all those things came up for me when a woman said stroke off the chart. I didn't realize that I had all these negative things about that. But without anything telling me that I got a stroke, it gave me room. It gave me room to be like, all right, well, I'm in this hospital, what am I going to do? What's happening to me? But I wasn't thinking, oh, I got a stroke. Oh, no, what's going to happen? You know? So that was very key. So thanks, Mom. Thanks, Mom, for doing that. Thanks for doing that. And so that's the first thing. When having someone who's had a stroke, you've got to get them to fight. You've got to get them to fight. I know that's the wrong word, but it's like I was telling Brush, coming around that corner and seeing that man look at me with hope, that shook me up. And so you got to get him or her to fight every day. Because I'm still fighting every day. It's been 4 years. I'm still fighting every single day. So you got to get them to fight.
I have one last question if we don't have any more questions. But if you do, please ask. No? Okay. All righty. Because we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. But I do have a question. So this beautiful man proposed to me on Marathon Monday, November 5th, 2023. Of course I remember the date.
Time out.
And so my question is, when are we going to get married? I said yes, November 5th, 2023. Does anyone else want to know when we're going to get married?
I was kind of wondering.
Yeah.
Thank you, Holly.
So I was going to point out.
What were you going to point out?
I was going to point out that
You tongue-tied?
yeah.
Blame it on the face.
Yes,
Not Asia.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna let go. So yeah.
I had to wait 8 years.
What'd you say?
I had to wait 8 years.
No.
Don't tell them.
So we're gonna get married? We're gonna do this?
Yeah, you know we're gonna do it.
Next week.
I wonder how.
Yeah. So just got something to tell us.
We have something
Yeah.
to tell them. So we decided that we are going to get married this year.
Think about it. Get ready. Get ready.
In the tradition of who we are, which are, I believe we're non-conformists. We're very much so non-traditionalists.
And you've heard a lot about my story tonight.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna do it very differently.
Yes.
We've decided that we're going to continue to shine a spotlight on stroke, especially in the Black and brown communities. And we're gonna use our platform and ourselves to do that by running 1,200 miles from New York City to Nashville.
Oh, my.
And we're going to get married 409 miles in honor of his 409th consecutive day of running on the day he had a stroke. We are going to stop and pause and get married 409 miles from New York City, which means we're going to arrive in Nashville as Mr. and Mrs. Wrights. And how you can participate and go on this journey with us is simply when we run through your city, you can come out and you can walk with us. You can run with us, of course. You can cycle. You can just come out and give us a hug. This is going to be about a 2-month plus adventure. And so we're making a vow to one another, and we're also making a vow to stay committed and show up for stroke survivors, for stroke awareness, for stroke education, for stroke love, and also to highlight midlife love. This is going to be this is our first marriage, both of us getting married for the very first time, and only because at 55. And so we're super excited. We're nerve-sighted, but we're mostly excited because this is a big. I think this is going to set the tone for our marriage. Can't speak for anyone else's marriage, but I think this type of endurance is the type of endurance that we want for our marriage.
All right, so give it up. Give it up. Give it up.
We're calling this the 409 Vow Run.
Yes, 409 vow run. So just to recap, I was running for 409 days. Was my first run streak, and I fell on the 409th day, and that's when I fell at Miss Mini College. And so that's what we're doing. We're celebrating 409. 409.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. Amen. Amen.
And so I told you how many miles, and that was, I didn't mean to, so I'm going to back up because we have a gift for someone
Yes.
who can, here we go. All right, let's see who knows their geography.
No phones.
Yeah, no phones. You can't look this up on Google. I see you, Holly. I see you. She's like, geography was not my strongest subject. We're going from New York City to Nashville, right? So if you know your geography, you at least know the major states in between New York City and Nashville.
Yep.
What state do you believe will hit at the 409th mile? What state?
Ohio.
What? I'm sorry, what?
Virginia.
Who said Virginia?
I did.
Who?
I did.
Oh, I did. All righty. Well, you're right. You got an A in geography. Yes, that we will hit Culpeper, Virginia. We've never heard of it. And we are creating partnerships along this journey because it is a big undertaking. It's a long time. And we've actually been gifted a venue for our wedding.
Yes.
So that's beautiful.
Yes.
We haven't solidified all of the finite details, but we're working on that. And so because you guessed Virginia, you win a copy of Seku's book and 2 entries, 2 passes into Demetrius's 5K Steps of Success Run Walk, which is happening September 12th. And that is valued at, what, $125? I'm sorry, 160. He said 160. That is valued at 160. Sekou's book is valued at $24.95. We would love to give.
And it's the book that I didn't talk about, Get Rich 101.
Ooh.
Get Rich 101, and Little Sekou's First Dollar.
If you have a grandchild or a great niece, great nephew, you
Yeah.
want to give them this book.
That's the book that I taught them at Fisk Mini Colleges now. Okay.
All right.
You have an Instagram account.
We do, and website. We'll share that with everyone. I wish, yes, we'll definitely would love.
So we can follow you.
Yeah, it's 409movement.com. That's our website, for the numbers 409movement.com. We begin building that out after today.
And the
IG.
IG.
IG is the 409 VOW, VOW, run. That's it. Instagram is the 409 VOW run.
Yes.
And that's spelled out? Yes.
VOW, VOWRUN,
Lowercase letters or uppercase?
lower. Great question. Question here, I see you. And we leave October 9th,
Her birthday.
my birthday.
Her birthday.
It's close to my birthday, October 1.
Okay, we went to the house.
All right.
Yay, happy early birthday. Thank you. We appreciate you all so much for coming out.
Thanks for doing this. This was my 4th annual because I've been trying to do this every year, but my mind wasn't working right. So it's the first time, and this will be the first time of the best. No, it's the best time of the 4. No. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm tired.
He's tired.
Yeah.
More to come. We plan to celebrate you all and to celebrate anyone who survived life July 14th of every year. So as long as we're alive, we will be in Nashville
Yeah.
celebrating with you
Yeah.
somewhere in this city. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you to First Baptist Church,
Thank you.
Capitol
Thank you.
Hill.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pastor Scott.
Yes.
Um,
God, yes.
Thank you so much, Holly,
Yes.
Holly just always says yes. I reached out to her early in his recovery to do a video, and she just said yes and sent it to me. So again, your stroke has brought so many amazing people into our lives. We're building community in a city we don't even live in. Like, come on, it's huge. We love Nashville. We love you. Thank you so much, Demetrius, for all of your yeses, for helping me navigate this when he first had his stroke. Like, Demetrius was my lifeline. I didn't even know this brother, and he just rolled out the red carpet for me. So
Just like
thank
you
you.
wrote out the red cup for me, didn't know me.
Right.
Demetrius doing it.
So it's really not us. It's just who he is.
Yeah, that's right.
We're not doing
That's
that.
right. That's right.
That's okay. Thank you so much, Mama Sekou, for
Yes.
birthing and raising a beautiful man for me.
Thanks so much.
Okay.
I don't know about that. It's sad.
Yeah, they give her a kiss.
Thank
Great guy. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
On many levels, it's an inspiration. You can apply to so many things. You're a wonderful speaker.
Yes.
She's already glad to. Yeah, I'm excited for you. So I'll be, so your
IG and website?
yeah, what is it, it's 409 spelled out?
Yes. No, the number is 409.
And then what, and then
Vow.
VOW, VOW.
Run.
Run, okay,
Yeah.
right.
409 VOW run.
Wow.
And then the website is 409 numbers
Yeah.
movement.com.
Okay, that's what okay, all right. Wonderful, y'all.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Oh, yeah, and then I will just send you a link,
Oh, sure.
the text.
Okay,
You
sure.
can download all of
Oh,
it.
thank you.
You're welcome. All righty. We'll talk to y'all later. How much longer will y'all be in, oh, I'm sorry. How much longer will you be in town?
She's leaving shortly. I'm gonna stay around for a few more weeks.
Thank you.
Don't do it. Yeah, so I'm not sure.
Okay, okay. We may see you again.
Nice to meet Thank you all so much for being here. We're, of course, going to have a replay, and Sekou will be right back in a moment to say goodnight. Let me just say hi. That's beautiful. Terrence. Thank you, Terrence. So, Terrence, guess Virginia. Terrence, we've never heard of Culpepper. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, well, how are you?
Good. I'm Debbie Newborn.
She sat in front of us. She sat in front of us when we came to church. Yeah, she was in the right purpose. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think there was a time I might be at church this Sunday. I'm going back to New York. So hopefully I'll be there. I'm planning to be there this Sunday.
Oh, good.
Thank you so much for being here. So much. We appreciate it.
He supported me, so
Yeah, she's.
I am, you know.
She's a painter. Well, she does mix, what do you call them?
Wreaths.
Wreaths, yeah.
Oh, okay. You got one for your mom?
I didn't kill her. I didn't kill her. Why you put me on a spot like that? No.
You said, how could I support it?
Sorry.
This winter.
No, he came to the
To the
opening.
Yeah, the opening.
of the art studio.
Oh,
And there's several artists there. You know, and I'm kind of I do watercolor, but you know, I've gotten into this wreath thing. Somebody asked me to make a wreath for them, and I got hooked. And I kind of, you know,
found your lane.
left the watercolor alone, you know. And then, so I'm kind of the audience out in the studio because everybody else is painting and, you know, doing all this stuff. And I'm making wreaths. But my college friend owns the studio.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, that's the guy who was talking about doing the book company. Yeah, and it was a challenge for me coming out and being public like that. I was worried about it, but I did it. And you were throwing it for it.
well, you felt comfortable though, right? Okay, good. Good. I'm glad. I'm proud of you. Then. I'm very proud.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I asked that question because you never know when something like that's going to happen to, you know, to a loved one. So, you know, I would want to respond appropriately, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, show support, but not enable necessarily.
And that's, you know, depending upon the relationship, that's it's a fine line, and you'll find your way. Because I think in the beginning, I might have done a little bit of enabling, not intentionally, but you just want to help and do. And so now I see that Sekou needs me in a different way than he needed me before.
And that's what I was trying to get at. You know, like
from a caregiver standpoint,
a caregiver, you know, just support system, not enabling, but allowing them to you know, deal with it their way, you know, and then I just want to be there to be that support system. Like I said, and not enable them, you know.
Everyone's different.
Okay.
Because their stroke could be different and their needs. I don't think anyone can answer that for you unless or until you're in it.
Okay.
Yeah, because
but how do you ask the stroke victim, what do you need from me? And they don't know. You know?
Most of the times he doesn't know.
Right.
So I'm just there.
Okay.
You know, I hold a space for him. I just support And this is new for me, you know, I've never been in a relationship with someone who had a stroke. So I'm learning. I did create a caregiver group, and now I'm looking for an external one because I still need support, because you also don't want to burn out, because if I'm no good for me,
What good are you for him?
yes. And it's important for me as someone who's giving care to give care to myself.
Small group.
Yeah. So I think did someone have one? Or?
No.
Okay, thank God.
No. Well, my dad, when he was living, he was
Great. I look at them. That's an
he must have
excellent.
been.
I've heard that,
maybe
a prostate
about-
cancer screening initiative.
Yes.
No, he
Because
was.
that's another area that, Black
He may
men
have been
are
40.
trailing, as far as other groups in the United
We
States.
were walking into the house. It was dark, and he was in front of my mom, and I was behind my mother. And all of a sudden, he started veering off to one side,
Oh, it was terrible.
and he went to the doctor, and he
Well, I'll
said
text
he
you.
probably had a mild stroke.
A little dinner
So
together.
they,
I'd love you to be my
so that's the reason why
Yeah,
I kind of
he's a great guy.
took it a little personal, because, you know,
Thanks for inviting me.
you
I
never
appreciate it.
know. You know, you don't know what causes it, you don't know, you know, any of that.
I just wanted to give you a real quick hug. I sent you guys a text, but before you leave, go to dinner. Maybe after 4 months, would that be nice? Okay, all right, sorry to
Hey,
interrupt.
folks.
Thank you so much.
Hey, Melissa.
I was gonna say,
Hey, Danielle.
do you want to take your mom home? Make her comfortable. We can do.
I'm gonna come check with her.
Check. And so, yeah, I would say.
Great job, man. Man, I tell you, that was wonderful.
Dr. Powerful is going to bring that into and you'll know what to do. But
You gotta spread that word. Just get it out.
after that,
We're talking about it. We'll help me.
because most of us don't. I know I was just like, what
Now, have
is
you
this?
seen your
How
blood
have I gotten
pressure
to this
numbers
age and never
go down
encountered it?
as
And
you
I didn't.
continue to work, exercise?
I trained a woman, but I met her after her stroke.
Yeah.
But her family didn't talk to me about it.
No, you were checking it. You went, yeah,
And I trained her, and
Yeah.
I just remember her being like, said, oh, she was
Possibly
really
monitor your blood
focused
pressure.
on getting back. And she had a stroke and then had an aneurysm in the ambulance. And at the time all this happened, I
All
wanted
this
to
stuff is right now.
Okay.
So, activity,
Yeah.
She's working, she just wrote her memoir. So now.
When you sleep.
So,
So is that something you just bought yourself, or is it okay, it's just something that anybody can buy?
Yes.
And
I
it
got it
never
because
happened again.
one of the black men running
How-
something
how,
that since I've been in Nashville.
old did you
First got
travel
this
to
like a
be?
week ago.
He was 80.
Yeah, I need to get that.
Yeah, sure.
Now, does it actually,
I don't subscribe to that.
monitor your blood pressure as well?
Yeah, it monitors heart rate, not quite blood pressure.
I know you.
Yeah, that's it, 87
Okay.
beats per minute.
It was
It's a little higher.
because when he got
Yeah.
got
Okay.
in the
Oh, yeah.
house, he was
So you gonna
fine.
do this for a while?
But that's what they, but he went to the
Before you run, you
doctor,
get
he
the link
said
of your book too.
Okay.
The
Oh,
doctor
it is
felt
book.
You
that
got it
he
already?
experienced
We get the
mild
title.
stroke.
That's all I need
He
right
thought
there.
that he was just
Yeah.
under
And you
a
can
lot
do
of
this for
stress.
them walk.
So who's, the men walking?
This
You know,
is success
and
walk
he was
here.
concerned
Like the
about
meeting
her,
we
I
talked
guess,
about.
Yeah.
you
Next
know,
year.
because
What's the date on that walk?
They're gonna have a
September
19-year-old.
what is it?
And now they're getting
You know,
ready to
I
have
had not.
So to
have a
get
baby.
rich.
That's stressing me out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess, John, I had not put that on my calendar yet.
Yeah, I would remember it.
It will, yeah.
I hope to
No,
see
I
you
was
in church
definitely
today.
ready.
Yes, feet.
I really did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
No,
Felicia.
I was definitely.
Oh, okay.
She'll be here.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think.
Are we gonna start
It was
here?
nice
The church
meeting you.
or
I
what?
was
No,
nice
it could be downtown, they could change the
All right.
location.
Take
Oh, they're
care.
downtown.
It used to be-
Oh, like
Oh,
Broadway?
Shelby Center,
Right.
Shelby Park.
Right.
Good night, Danielle. Oh, Rev Melissa. Rev Melissa, I used one of your not quotes, but sayings.
Yeah, well,
8:43, what time is it? You all probably have logged out. Thank you so much for being here. We will do an edit sometime this week and we'll share the replay. Yeah.
Right.
I want this guy to log out. Who said that? Love y'all. Power couple. Yes. And thank you, Terrence. You're right. I looked it up on Gemini. Gemini said no, first responders cannot administer TPA. So the lady who asked that question, she's still here. I'll let her know that.
Yes, I understand the things you have.
Mr. Sekou, I think I'm gonna let people go.
Okay.
Okay. He says good night. Now I gotta figure out how to, because he's got all this stuff.
And I
Mainstream,
keep talking
bam.
about that. Do I have to register to do that? Does that cost me?